Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Mariah Monique and I am the founder and the CEO of the Sponsorship Catalyst, where I teach nonprofit organizations how to identify and secure multiple figure sponsorship deals for the organizations that you're running so that you can actually serve the community and serve more people. In today's episode, I'm going to be sharing with you the before and after sponsorship deck of a student that I had in my nonprofit event sponsorship accelerator that landed this student $70,000 in about 60 days of working with me inside the accelerator. Now, these are just examples. You don't have to follow, what this student did. However, I want to start to share before and after so you can kind of see some of the things that this student needed to tweak in order to be able to bring in the dollars that he needed. One thing also to note about this particular student is that the amount of money that he brought in, which was $70,000, was actually about $25,000 more than he needed in order to cover the cost of the event. So I love this testimonial because it just shows the power of being able to partner with aligned partners, being able to make the tweaks necessary to the materials that you're pitching to sponsors, but also being able to walk into your event knowing that it was fully funded and knowing that you actually have extra money to allocate to your day-to-day programming. Now, this student had been working with this organization for years and was kind of new to the sponsorship industry. And so I also just love the success of folks that maybe don't have a lot of sponsorship experience or any at all, but they're able to learn from the things that we teach, the strategies, the tools that we teach in the accelerator in order to garner these type of results for the organization. So I'm going to do some before and after of some of the things that I gave the student. And then we are going to see their deck after they made the tweaks and changes. So let me pull it up here. Alrighty. So this was the first page of their sponsorship deck. So immediately when I opened it, I said, this looks like you put a flyer on this first page and I want you to expand it because it doesn't align with the rest of the pages that followed. Overall, I love the look of this sponsorship deck. I love the feel. It flowed in terms of the storytelling aspect of what they were pitching and how people could be a part of this fundraising gala to support the work that they are doing in Uganda. And so going on to the second page here, they immediately start to talk about, let's see. All right, there we go. Maybe there's a little delay. Okay. So going into the second page here, they immediately start to talk about the event and what it's going to be about. They start to talk about this being the second annual event for them, and they start to talk about how you as a sponsor, as an organization, can join and be a part of their second annual denim and dinner event. So again, building on the fact that like this is a recurring event, and we got some special guests and a little bit more about what the event will consist of. Their third page, so I had no tweaks for that second page. The only tweaks that I had for a good chunk of this deck were consistency in the titles. And so you'll start to see, so from that last second page, the titles, the font was one size, and then you'll see kind of down the line, the fonts were different. This font doesn't matter because this is their logo. And so what I loved about this page was that it was very clear on what they do, the type of work they're doing, where they're doing the work, and the actual impact that they made through numbers. So my feedback for this page was make some of this stuff bold. I love the picture. The picture's authentic. The picture is real. The picture shows the shoes that they developed to protect these young people's feet from jiggers is what they call them, which are like little bugs that they have to pull off of their feet so that they don't have these sores. And so my feedback for this page was to bold some of these numbers. These numbers should pop out. Reason being is because some sponsors are not just going to read all through this. Some people are skimming, they're looking for what they need, and then they're moving forward. So you want things to pop out at folks. On the fourth page here, you'll see that they really highlight who's going to be at this event, the type of artists that are going to be there for the night. So you see Grammy winning songwriter, Grammy nominated. Now, this event was held in Nashville, Tennessee. And so Nashville, Tennessee is a mecca, right, for country music and for music just in general. And so being able to highlight some of the folks that would be at this actual event was really critical, particularly for that community. They probably know these people. They probably are familiar with these people, their style of music they might enjoy. And so being able to highlight that. I had no feedback for this slide. This slide was clean. This slide was communicated exactly what it needed to communicate, and that was that. Going on to the next slide, the feedback that I had was really kind of like this background picture, which was a little bit challenging to kind of see the actual words a little bit on my eyes. However, again, it's very clear. The event details are also here. They're on the first page because I love to just have things on the first page, but they're also here as well. And it also shows sponsors or individual sponsors that would come on to, promote their mom and pop shop, right? What to expect from the actual event. And then they talk about dress code. So great. This next page, I had several things of feedback. Number one, this picture is authentic, it's beautiful, it's from their kids, again, showing the shoes. So one of the things this organization does is that they have across the world, anybody can put together a denim cut-in party. You cut based on the patterns that this organization has so that they can actually make the shoes for the students. And so part of their actual denim and dinner event also had that component as well, so that people could help make some of these, cut out the prints or cut out the patterns for the shoemaking. And one of the things about this page is that I was so confused by this page. I was like, I don't know what this is supposed to be. But then as I read, I realized that like, oh, these are probably brands that they've secured so far. So I said, change this page a little bit to say, our partners or, people that we're working with, and make sure these logos stand out to where I know, like, unless you're from Tennessee, you know these brands, or unless you like, I don't even know. I did look them up, but it's been a while. But unless you're familiar with these brands, like they're not very well known. And so what I wanted him to do was really make sure it stood out that like these are our partners that we've signed on, and then to add additional partners that he's since secured. Again, the picture looked great. I love the flow of this. I love that the pages from page to page, there's a little bit of difference. You judge it up a little bit, but we wanted to make sure it was clear that people understood what this page was. So here you see the font here is a little bit different than some of the other pages. So again, I did say, let's make sure we are using the same font for your headers and so on and so forth. Again, I love that he has authentic photos. These are photos of people that he serves in the Uganda area, and he is making sure that the pictures are culturally competent, but that they also are speaking to the people that they serve. So again, talking about the impact, I want to see numbers. I was a type of funder that I'm not necessarily going to read through everything. I want the numbers to pop out on me. I want to see how many people you impacted. So for this page, I was like, really, I love the blurbs. Keep some of the blurbs, but let's pull out some of the numbers. How many clinics do you host a year? How many kids have been served? How many jiggers have you pulled out? Like, what does that look like, that number, that impact? Because that's what sponsors are going to be looking for if they are going to come on board. So then moving down to the next page, which was their sponsorship levels. And one thing I love about the sponsorship levels is I love when it is in the cascade type of flow, meaning I can see from the highest level what I don't get at 10K level, what I don't get at 5K level, like I can clearly see that. So one of the things I suggested here is that, hey, let's have a title, sponsorship opportunities, or, get your brand in front of whatever, like, let's have a title for this page, and then let's go into the sponsorships. The other feedback that I had for this was that, hey, whatever you put at the 5K level, so let's say, for instance, let me go to it. So let's say, okay, so so there was a lack of consistency of how things were written. So let's say at the 5K level, it says social media mention, colon or semicolon, and then it says inclusion in group sponsor thank you post at 5K. But then at the Hope Catalyst level, it says group sponsorship, group social media mention, inclusion in sponsor appreciation posts. Again, appreciation post is a thank you post. So let's make sure there's consistency in the verbiage that's used from one side to the next side so people can easily read over and say, okay, I saw that in the first one. Okay, the difference that I get here is 6 tickets instead of 4 tickets, and then I get event recognition. So let's make sure it's consistent. Another thing here too is that he says acknowledgement here. He uses acknowledgement. He describes that acknowledgement means you'll get name listed in event program and on-site signage, so event signage. Whereas here at the 10K level, it says event recognition, and then it says acknowledgement during the event. So again, these are the same things, but they're worded differently. And so now if I look at the 10K, I'm like, I don't really know, what does that mean, acknowledgement during the event? Does that mean I'm going to get on-site signage, as you say in the 5K level? Does that mean that you'll actually mention me from stage? So you want to make sure there's some consistency as well as expansion along the way. So my feedback here was a title, as well as making sure there's consistency throughout how you word certain things, so it's very clear how people see. Also, this is a little challenging to see to the eye, so there was definitely some feedback there as well. And then moving to the next page, which is the last page. If you've been around for any amount of time, you know that sponsorships can be from 5 to 15 pages. Sweet spot is about 7 to 10. And so this is perfect sweet spot. It's 9 pages long. It communicates the opportunity. It communicates who the organization is. It communicates what the event is going to be about. It communicates impact. It communicates people that have already bought in, and it communicates an opportunity for sponsors to come on board through the sponsorship opportunities. Lastly, they talk about opportunities to connect with them, right? What are the next steps you can to discuss sponsorship opportunities, or if you want a custom sponsorship package that align more with their objectives, that was the offer. And then the founder had their information below. Now, I'm going to show you the tweaks that this founder made in order to make sure that he put out the best product possible to be able to draw in the sponsors necessary to execute this event fully funded. I mean, the event was fully funded and some weeks before the event actually happened. So I want you to really kind of understand just sometimes the little tweaks that you might need to make in order to position yourself to be able to ease yourself into that event. I mean, imagine it's nonprofit leaders who's raising funds, who's probably wearing the hat of an event planner. You're pulled in so many different directions. So to know that you already have the money secured, that you can focus on other aspects of executing that event and making sure that you can also enjoy the event, it just gives such a peace of mind and eliminates the frustration and stress about like, how are we going to get all these sponsors in? How are we going to get the money? Are we in the red, or are we, just breaking even? Like, it just so much peace of mind when you're going into an event that is fully covered, and whatever you raise from that event is just cherry on top of what you can do to support the people that your organization serves. So I want you to really sit with that. I want you to really think through that, because I want organizations such as yourselves to really go into this next phase or this next level of securing sponsors, really thinking through fully how to best position your organization in advance with plenty of time to secure sponsors so that you can actually enjoy the event and not be stressed out about we didn't meet our financial goals to be able to cover this event and so. So let's get into the changes that were made. Showing that here. Okay, so immediately, love this. He stretched that first flyer out. He stretched it out. Now this is a full page. Again, he's got the title. He's got where it's going to be at, where it's going to be held, the winery. He also has the date here, and this visual here was also the decor of the actual event. So just alignment all the way around. So that was the first improvement. Second thing here, now he did do some switches in the layout here. the visuals the same. I didn't mind the switch ups, but what I really love is that he bolded some of the words. He bolded some of the things so that they just stood out to folks that would be reading. So again, great job on this second page, although the second page did not necessarily need an upgrade, although he did have to change the titles to make sure that they were all consistent throughout the deck. But I loved it. Now, the third page here, he switched it and then again brought some bold numbers. He added some additional numbers that were not in the original sponsorship deck. And he really pointed out breaking cycles of poverty for folks, and really what that looks like in his programs and his day-to-day organization. And so again, being able to pull out some of those things, bolded a little bit so it's easy on the eyes. And he did do a switch of photos as well, just to read better from page to page. All right. So if you remember from the original deck, this was the page that had the 3 photos of the Grammy Award winning folks, right? So he removed that, and then he just basically talked about stories behind the songs, right? The songs that these artists make. He also highlighted these people. He did not add their photos, but he did highlight that they were being featured because he shows more of their photos in the next slide. But it kind of gives people a glimpse of some of these things, or some of the people that would be there as entertainment, drawing people to the crowd. And when you think about this, you think about, okay, he's bringing Grammy-winning, songwriters. There's a different type of person or people that will be in the room that people might want to connect with, right? So you also think about the audience. You also think about like who wants to be able to connect with these types of people. And I don't know who his full audience were, but I imagine there were people that were probably in the music industry in the Nashville area. There were business owners for sure that were in that room that, again, they want to network with these folks. They want to maybe promote or talk about some of their products as they're networking with folks. So this is the importance of really kind of highlighting, the artists that he was bringing to be able to also share with people like it's going to be a great night. We're going to have a great night, but we're also going to raise some dollars so that we can help these folks. So then again, this next page, he highlights, the different artists. He talks a little bit more about them. And, again, for folks that probably attended this event, they probably love these artists. They want these artists. They want to be connected with these artists, or they may want to, meet them, take photos, whatever that might look like. So he added that. And as you can see, this deck has 10 pages. So he added an additional page, which is okay. It's still within that sweet spot, 7 to 10. And he added that additional page, which was with the artist. Now here, he changed a little bit of the flow of this, a little bit more wordy, and maybe would have cut some of the things out, but it still worked. I love, again, that he bolded some things that was very helpful. And then he also talked about who the master of ceremonies was. Now, it's not a big thing. It's not even something that common that people talk about. Sometimes people do it. However, especially if there's like a celebrity, I've definitely seen that where people say this is going to be the MC of the night. But he highlighted this guy, and I don't know who he is, but he gives a bio here of who he is. And it looks like he's, pretty established in what he does. And he wanted to highlight him for the event to let people know this is who we're going to get. Now, we're going to get to this page 7, which we talked about in the last sponsorship deck, because again, it had no title. I did not know what was going on that page. So he still used the same background photo. Again, great. Again, highlighting too. So highlighting more of those shoes here with this blue background. And then he added the additional brands that came on board to support the organization. And from the looks of it, these look like mostly local brands, possibly some regional brands, but they look like mostly local brands that, again, gave him $70,000 collectively. So, don't pass up on your local brands, because people do have marketing dollars that they want to invest into organizations. This page didn't change too much besides bolding some of the things, which again makes it just pop out. The sponsorship opportunities page did change. He added a title. He changed Make sure the from one thing to the next thing, social media mention, like all that stuff was consistent across the board. And then I know we did add some additional things for the sponsorship that would give at the highest level, just to make sure that like people really felt like they were really getting a bang for their buck. And then lastly, the last page pretty much stayed the same. And it was, again, making that pitch that if you want something more customized to your organization objectives, then this is going to be an opportunity for you to connect with us so that we can create something that is more aligned. Okay. So from there, you can truly see the difference between the first sponsorship deck to the second sponsorship deck. Just minor tweaks sometimes make a huge difference, so that as you pitch to sponsors, they can see the value in what you're pitching. They can see the opportunities that they can grab hold of in order to get their branding out there and their brand out there. And then they also can see who they could potentially get to network with or make potential new deals with because of who will potentially be in the room, while also supporting a great cause. So I wanted to share that. I'll share some more before and afters with you and some of the results that clients have been able to secure. And I hope this video was helpful. If it was helpful, be sure to like it. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, be sure that you're subscribed to the channel so you never miss a sponsorship strategy video. You never miss an opportunity to view a hot seat live, as we will start to engage in live hot seats. And if you want to connect with me, there's some links below where you can book a call with me if you need your sponsorship deck reviewed. I do have an audit and alignment service for organizations that maybe you're not sure if, you put your best foot forward, right? Maybe there's some things you're missing in your deck that you need to tweak that you just don't understand. Or maybe you're putting your deck out there and no one's biting. You're not getting the traction that you thought you should have received. And so typically there's just, a need to make a few tweaks that I am more than happy to support your organization in, to make sure you can bring in the dollars needed to serve your community. That's all, folks. Again, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know this video was helpful for you so that I can continue to provide quality videos for you. Have an amazing day.